Good morning, guys. So, today we're going to talk about inherited traits and learned behaviors. So, we're going to be figuring out what the difference is in these two words. So, the first thing I want you to do is think about your pet, or maybe if you don't have a pet, a friend's pet, or a pet you would like to have. How would you describe your pet? What color fur does it have? Does it have wings? Does it have fins or scales? Now think about what your pet does. Does it do anything special? Does it walk on 2 feet or 4 feet? Does it sit? Does it do any other tricks? Does it come when you call its name? So, on your notes, for the first question, you're going to describe your pet. On the second question, you are going to write down something your pet does. So, inherited traits can be separated into two different categories. We have physical characteristics, which is how something looks. Then we have instincts, which is something that it does. So, let's look at this blue macaw here. Inherited traits include physical characteristics that are passed down in DNA from the parent to the offspring. So, for example, the inherited traits of this blue macaw would be that it has a powerful beak, it has blue wings, and it's about 34 inches long. These are all traits that would have that are similar to its parents and all other blue macaws, actually. So, I want you to look at this picture of this red panda, and I want you to see if you can identify three physical characteristics. I'll wait just a minute. Did you say that it has red fur? Or maybe you noticed the rings on its tail. Maybe you noticed its white ears or the white around its nose. These are all physical characteristics of the red panda. These are things that describe the way it looks, and these are things that it would have inherited from its parents. So here are some other examples of inherited traits. A child's height, so how tall you're going to be depends on how tall your parents are. Eye color of a child. So your eye color is probably matches one of your parents. A leaf's shape. So if you notice, all leaves on the same tree have very similar shapes to their leaf. Now they will vary a little, but they are fairly similar. The shape of a bird's beak. All eagles have the same beak shape. All hummingbirds have the same beak shape. And then the fur color of a dog. Most dogs, when they're born, they have the same fur color of that of their parents. So now we're going to practice, and you're going to tell me if it is an inherited trait. So I'll read the question, and then you decide, yes, it is an inherited trait, or no, it is not. Number one, a scar from falling off a jungle gym. No, that is not an inherited trait. Two, a boy with brown eyes. Yes, that is inherited. Three, a rose with pink petals. Yes, also inherited. Four, a girl with blue hair. Can you be born with blue hair? No, that is not an inherited trait. And then number five, a cat's long tail. Yes, that is inherited. Good job. So now let's talk about instincts. Inherited traits include instinctive behaviors that animals are born knowing how to do. So these are things that no one has to tell them, they just know to do it on their own. So in this picture, we have some loggerhead sea turtle babies that are crawling towards the ocean from where they hatch. They know from instinct to move towards the brightest direction, which is usually the ocean. So if you notice in that picture, they don't have parents standing there saying, hey, come with me, go this way. No, they just know to do it on their own. Kind of like breathing. Nobody tells you to breathe, you just do. That's an instinct. So here's some other examples of instincts. A bear's hibernation, they do that for survival. A whale's migration, again, also for survival. They know that they have to migrate in order to find food in the colder months. A spider spinning a web, a bird building a nest, and owls hunting at night. If you notice, these all are very similar and they have to do with the animal's survival. Now let's talk about learned behaviors. Learned behaviors are not inherited. Animals can be taught behaviors or learn behaviors from their environment and their experiences. For example, a human learns to tie their shoe. Maybe someone taught them how to tie their shoe, or maybe they learned by observing someone else. So there's a couple of ways that you can learn behaviors. You can learn through experiences. For example, if you touch a hot stove, you learn not to do that again because it hurt. So you say, oh, well, if I touch that, it's hot, it burns me, probably shouldn't do that again. Nobody told you, hey, that hurt, don't do it again. You learned that from an experience that you had. Some people learn things from watching others. You can watch people do things over and over again and kind of teach yourself how to do it, but it's still a learned behavior because you had to observe others. And then some things require like direct instruction. Here is how you do whatever. So here's some other examples of learned behaviors. A lion cub learns to sneak up on its prey. It does this by watching its mother. A student can speak 2 languages. You can learn more than one language, and that requires somebody teaching you these are the words and these are what they mean. After getting pricked by a cactus, a dog learns to avoid it. That's an experience thing. It learned, hey, that hurt. I probably shouldn't do that again. And then sea otters use stones to crack open shells that contain prey. This is something they probably watch other otters do, and then they learn to do the same. So now we're going to practice. I'm going to read you an example statement, and you're going to decide if it is an inherited trait or a learned behavior. Monarch butterflies migrate every year. Inherited trait. Very good. A seal balances a beach ball on its nose. Learned behavior. It had to be taught. A tadpole loses its tail and grows legs. Inherited trait. A mother bear protects her young cub. Inherited trait. That's an example of an instinct. They just know to do that. A gorilla communicates with his trainer using sign language. Learned behavior. Very good. A prickly pear cactus has spines. Inherited trait. And that's a physical characteristic. That's something that it describes how it looks. All right, guys, so that is all of our notes for today. So make sure that you go back and you copy these notes onto your Google slide that is titled Traits and Behavior Notes. They should all be fill in the blank. You can always come back to this video if you need to review anything or looking for a certain term to fill in a blank. If you have any questions or difficulties with the assignment, remember you can always ask Miss Miller or you can ask me, and we'll be happy to help you. I hope you all have a great week. Bye, guys.